right, so now we're gonna switch gears and go over to Marvel, and I'm just gonna open up with my personal favorite Marvel Now book. No. Marvel Now is kind of like the Marvel's answer to the New 52, but they decided to go about it a different way and do it in different stages.
The right way.
No, I would argue that it wasn't done the right way, but there are some excellent books that came out because of it, and starting with Thor.
Thor's best it's ever been.
I've never gave a shit about Thor, and I read the first trade of JMS's Thor, and I thought it was okay, but it wasn't enough for me to want to continue. I don't want to drop this book. I don't want this book to change at all. It's amazing, and I think what makes it great is the fact that now I get a story about Thor where I'm like, it doesn't matter if he's a Norse god. It doesn't matter what realm he's on. This is a character that like has a goal, and it helps the fact that we get to see what Thor looked like when he was a younger guy, and he was far more arrogant and brash. And we get to see what old man Thor looks like with his destroyer arm and eye patch, and he's just this morose motherfucker who just hates himself for allowing all this shit to happen. But who's writing it right now? Jason Aaron. Thank you, because I just drew a blank on it. Jason Aaron's been doing like knocking it out the park with that book. Art is beautiful.
Aside Rebecca's God.
I'm gonna just like stream some panels.
Yeah,
because it's so good.
That last panel.
No,
right there.
No, it's gonna take up the whole screen.
That last panel of God Bomb when he's wielding two Mjolnirs.
That's my favorite.
God.
What they did though is they decided to do like what DC should have done: put good creators on a book and let them go.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have editorial interference as much, and that's why Thor is amazing. That's why Daredevil's a little before Marvel now.
Yeah, but it will be part of it soon.
See, that's what I was gonna say. What Tony said when he said that Marvel didn't do it the right way.
Yeah.
They should have waited till they could have done a line wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A line wide way of it's because it's not a relaunch.
No, it's
this
not.
line wide initiative basically of just shuffling up creators.
Yeah,
but
it was
I
a
like
shuffle.
at the same time that they gave certain creators a chance to finish their books before they forced them into the Marvel Now.
The thing about why I don't think it was done right is because when it happened, at the time, none of us really knew what book was Marvel Now and what wasn't. I mean, like, not no. I don't mean like no. I mean like, well, what does Marvel Now mean? Because we just went through the Heroic Age a few years ago, and that
was nothing.
Came and went, and we thought it was going to be a thing, and it wasn't.
The Heroic Age was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much
So-
to the Marvel now.
No.
Basically,
just,
AVX happened, and everything else was Marvel Now.
But
yeah, but no, see, that's the problem, because you had AVX, and then you still had Wolverine and the X-Men that was still dealing with prior to Marvel Now.
And that's But what makes it
But not only that, you had Age of Ultron that came out right after it, and that was really what confused people, because it was like, where does this even stand? Because Peter Parker was supposed to be dead, but he's still Spider-Man in this story.
But what makes it work in the way that where DC dropped the ball was they didn't have to go, oh, hey, all of this stuff is still happening within a certain timeline. Mm-hmm. It's all happening within the same kind of city. I mean, half the books are set in New York, but you know what? It doesn't matter if they line up because
there's no guessing game.
Yeah, there's no guessing
what
game.
What happened and what didn't happen.
It all happened.
I don't have to worry about if Daredevil's book is happening at the same time Doc Ock is swinging around as Spider-Man. It's amazing, I don't care the way I care about it with like DC, and that's in a good way.
A perfect way to kind of surmise it is that I had two friends who wanted to get into comic books, literally around the same time that both of these companies did these two initiatives. And one friend I gave the New 52 because he was more interested in Batman and characters like that, and then the other friend I gave Marvel Now because he would kind of have the knowledge of like Civil War and all that had happened before, but he wanted to get back into it. And I just told him, I was like, well, you have certain weeks that books come out, and this is when Marvel Now started, so just start from this week and then go on from there. And the other friend I gave was like, this is New 52, you want to read about Court of Owls and Batman and all this. And I literally saw the frustrations happening in both of them at the same time. He was like, "Oh well, should I read Wolverine and the X-Men?" I was like, you can. There's jumping on points for it, but it's not Marvel Now. And then from another friend for the New 52, he's like, "Wait, so when did this happen? Tim Drake's not Robin?" No. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, he is, but he never was."
Well, until
his name's not even Tim Drake.
Until Lobdell's off the book.
So it just goes to show like what they were trying to do was capture new readers, but you have two new readers, and they still kind of didn't get it right. But I will say that the friend who went with the Marvel Now is still going. Mm-hmm. The friend who did New 52 is literally exclusively reading Batman, and that is it. He did not pick up Animal Man. He didn't get in on Swamp Thing because
who would?
Well,
Yeah.
why exactly?
But they're
Why?
amazing.
They're amazing books, you know, and that's
who would,
the
who
problem.
would jump on to
That
You have to be
is the
willing to take a
problem.
risk to take those,
Yeah.
to pick on those. Pick
Yeah,
those
but
books.
see, this is the thing with DC wasn't itself willing to take the risk.
No.
I
But
mean, yeah, like, you're not willing to take the risk on those, but those are the great books, and you're willing to take the risk on Superman and Batman because it's not a risk.
But now-
those are the books that are like, but
why
Batman.
am I reading this?
to swing this back to Marvel, Thor isn't the only one that we all seem to like.
No,
I mean,
no.
I think everyone's.
All New X-Men's really good.
All X-Men's fantastic. You Deadpool.
I've not
Deadpool.
really-
has
New
been-
Avengers.
New Avengers is great.
New Avengers are amazing.
Out of a book with no action. I'd say that there's 0%
Yeah.
action in New Avengers.
But
It's
it's
literally
so
just
compelling.
talking
Yeah.
heads, and you can't put it down.
Yeah, it's like the best characters, and Hickman's like just the master of like
Of sci-fi,
epic
yeah.
sci-fi storytelling.
Yeah.
And he juggles so many different things because you have Black Panther's magic, and
Yeah.
Doctor Strange's magic,
And you're
and
going
mutants
for, like,
with Beast.
There's always a payoff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's something that it's leading to,
Yeah.
and it's not even Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity was the big event for Marvel,
Yeah.
and it literally
it was
just is like,
nothing.
well,
Yeah, this is
Infinity's
just a-
happening, but we still got to deal with our shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how events should be done. It shouldn't be this thing where it encompasses an entire book. It should be something where like they can touch on it and it enhances a book, and that's what I think that Hickman really knocked out of it.
I do really miss though where events essentially just if it was an X-Men event, it would stick within the X-Men books. If it was an Avengers event, it would stick within Avengers books. I didn't get a chance to read Infinity, but from everything I've heard, it's very jarring. Like a lot of people really loved it, but I've heard a few people that just thought the ending was kind of whatever. But it still doesn't take away from what it's bringing us, which is the Inhumans.
Well, see, what I would say, just to argue that point, is that don't we still have that? Because Infinity didn't really touch the X-Men universe at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, neither did Age of Ultron. I mean, it included Wolverine.
It was pretty much the
And
Avengers books.
honestly, Wolverine was absent from Infinity, even though he's a primary member of the
yeah.
Avengers, which makes no sense. But also, then you had like Second Coming. That was all X-Men.
Yeah.
We had Battle of the Atom. That was all X-Men.
X-Men.
No, but
I mean, really, we every once in a while we got the big AVX.
Yeah.
type of event.
Well, AVX and Age of Ultron kind of back to back kind of
Yeah.
didn't do so well.
It's
I
more.
wouldn't even call Age of Ultron an event because
No.
that
It was a
it
miniseries.
Yeah, that was a
It didn't
miniseries.
touch anything else.
It's more like
Some stupid.
I think it was just a reason to send Galactus to kill the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
yeah, I'm alright
And
with
we
that.
got
still.
Angela, which I'm
Cataclysm
like,
is doing fantastic
It's
right
really
now.
good.
yeah.
it's Bendis, when he started on Avengers, it became so big that anything that happened in those miniseries, even if the X-Men weren't in it, it changed the universe.
Exactly.
It wasn't in like all the books, but it changed the universe going forward after it.
Yeah, Avengers Assembled
that's-
led into
yeah.
House of M,
Mhm.
and House
House
of
of
M
M
that
led-
was the big Avengers X-Men team up
Yeah.
back then. That changed things.
And that led
forever.
into Civil War, Secret Invasion,
Invasion.
and
Even Civil War, it kind of affected the X world
Yeah.
with the way things were happening in like books like X Factor.
Well, it's also because you have a lot of characters that are on multiple teams, so
Yeah.
it does affect in some
I
sort of way.
I think Secret Invasion takes a lot of flack, and I
It was one of my
Secret
favorites.
I
Invasion
thought it
was
was
good.
really good.
I like
especially
Dark
because
Reign
this-
better.
Dark Reign is still the best one,
But see,
even though Dark Reign is
wasn't an event.
No,
it wasn't an
just-
It was an
event.
era.
line.
It was a line-wide era.
Yeah.
House of
Yeah.
M. House of M reads much better
As a
now,
child,
yes,
than when I was
yes.
reading when it came out.
House of M, regardless of
Yeah.
time.
When I read it when it first came out, it was great. But when you look at the way that the Marvel Universe played out afterwards, and then you go
Yeah.
back and say, "Holy shit,
There
this
was
is
some
where
good
it
stuff.
started." That was fantastic.
All right,
Marvel Now though, like the new stuff that's coming
The
out.
Now Now?
all new-
No,
Marvel
no,
Now
no.
Now.
all
There's
new
a lot
now.
of women
Now Now?
books
Yes.
coming out.
Yes.
And we have Femme
Hashtag
Fatale
Marvel Now
created
Now.
here.
So
Yes.
We have one woman. I mean, you got She-Hulk by Charles
Yeah.
Soule, which is gonna
She-Hulk,
be- has to
I'm
be
looking
awesome.
forward to.
Black Widow. Is
Black
that
Widow.
Yeah, it's Black
Yeah,
Widow.
Electra,
Yes.
Black
Zeb
Widow is
Wells.
going to
What was-
look
Oh,
It
fantastic.
looks so good.
Phil Noto's art is.
what was the book that you were talking about earlier today, online, where it was like the all girl team taking on like the all men team?
Uncanny.
Was it Uncanny?
Is that-
Yeah, that was the Uncanny X-Men
yeah.
Girls Night Out.
Yeah.
But not only that, but then you also have
The X-Men.
Brian Wood's X-Men book,
It's
where it's
really
all
good
female.
book.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, no, go
Okay.
open up on whichever books you're excited for.
Well, She-Hulk, of course, because it's just like, okay, she's what? A lawyer and freaking will destroy everything, which is awesome. I love She-Hulk.
She keeps her cool better than Bruce.
And I'm happy that there's a Black Widow book coming out because even with like the Avengers movies, it's just when they see Black Widow, when they think of her, they're just like hot Scarlett Johansson. That's what they think. That's all that they think about. But this book is going to give her more character, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Because she's even wasted in the Avengers books that she stars in.
Yeah.
What?
Even in
Yeah.
Secret
She's
Avengers,
been wasted
she's
for a while.
She's
Last
just
time-
always a
Captain
side
America
character.
books, we're big.
That was what I was
yeah,
saying.
she was used a lot.
That's the last time I cared
and that was
about-
that only hinged on her relationship with Bucky.
She also had those.
That's
She had that series with what's her name, Marjorie Liu.
Yeah,
Marjorie Liu and Daniel Kuna.
Yeah.
And Daniel Kuna, and that the first 6 issues of that was really good.
Yeah.
I love Daniel.
That was
Kuna's art.
really good.
I was bring back next 23 series.
Oh yeah.
Please.
That'd be cool.
Well, she's gonna be an all new now,
Yeah.
so
Which
all
is
new
cool.
X Men, and
Nice.
that's fine because one female in that book. And,
Speaking of all new, I think we should just let
Oh, okay,
Jared
can I
express.
Can I flex a little bit?
Yeah,
Let me
just
flex a
go
little bit.
nuts.
Moon Knight. Yeah.
Oh, who that?
Moon Knight.
Who's Ryan Moon Knight?
Mark Spector.
Dark
My man. Moon Knight. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be another like crime supernatural Batman meets Marvel meets New York.
Warren Ellis.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. it's
Sure,
You know
Warren-
what gets me?
and
No, go. go.
Warren Ellis's format is the single issue format.
Yes.
So it's a book that you can pick up and go, well, this is just a great issue. But each issue, it's like watching a good show that just plants seeds. It's like The Wire, really.
Yes.
Where it's just gonna just keep planting seeds
That's
to
a
like this
perfect comparison.
fantastic finish. I can't wait for that book.
And he's got so many multiple personalities. Each issue could
Could
be a different
something completely
personality.
different. No, they have that. The way that they're playing
Yes.
on it is because he's gonna have multiple suits.
Yes.
In the book, like he's gonna be
I think
wearing the
that's-
classic Moon Knight
I
garb.
think that's cool, actually.
And then if you read Warren Ellis's
the
Secret
pimp
Avengers
suit
run,
on.
Yeah,
he had the pimp suit, which is the mask and the
Yeah.
crescent moon on the top. I am so excited for that book. Not only that, but because Declan Shalvey's art, he started out. Where I first noticed him was on Venom, when I think it was after Rick Remender had already left, where he was doing Venom, where he moved him out to Philadelphia, and he drew the symbiote in such a menacing way.
Sketchy, right?
Yeah, it's like this really gritty, sketchy, urban type of artwork, and it's just the perfect fit. For
Well, what gets me excited for this Moon Knight is because like I got into Moon Knight when Charlie Houston just showed
Came
up
back,
out of
yeah,
the blue,
and
and,
said,
it
"Hey,
was
Moon
like,
Knight."
hey, I'm taking on Moon Knight, and I'm taking David Finch when David Finch was at on his A game,
good,
yeah.
on his A
It was right
game.
after his
and
Ultimate stuff.
It was the
Remember
most
Yeah.
brutal book I think Marvel was doing at the time. And it was
Carving
just-
people's faces.
yeah,
off.
it was amazing. And you know when Houston left. When Houston left, it was okay, and then it kind of just floundered, and they didn't know what to do with the character. And then Bendis had his run, which,
It was good.
I like the
Eh.
Bendis' run never got a chance to get its legs. Because if you remember the beginning of Bendis' Daredevil run, it started incredibly slow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a hardcore Daredevil fan, so you know it was great for me. But still, it had this
But
slow burn
it
to
didn't feel like Moon Knight though, because
No,
you
not
know
at all.
it abandoned
Everything
everything.
that we
It abandoned
knew Moon Knight
Frenchie,
could be.
abandoned
Yeah.
Marlene, abandoned everything.
He wasn't
what-
even based in New
yeah.
York. Yeah.
But what makes this
But
cool?
it wasn't even starting over because so much attention of it was
Wolverine.
played to his Wolverine persona, his Spider-Man
Yeah.
persona, his Captain America persona.
So
Where
it wasn't
essentially it was
really-
just like a Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America team up.
And what makes this book particularly cool is it feels like it's going back to what made Moon Knight fun from the get-go,
Get-go, yeah.
which is
The
hey,
supernatural aspect.
supernatural shit. And I'm beyond souped. And I said I would never come back for a Moon Knight book because that's the book that always gets canceled after like a year and gets relaunched.
I think this
I'm
one can
coming
make
back
it.
for
This
this
one's
one.
gonna make it.
But
Yeah,
with Warren
100%.
Ellis style.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna
I don't care.
We're gonna get a Moon Knight book before we get a Moon Knight movie before we get a Wonder Woman movie. It's happening.
Oh well, Warren Ellis stay. I think Warren Ellis is gonna stay on that book. When you consider
Five
how
for a
many.
year.
He doesn't say.
He does it.
I
He
don't
usually
know.
does a year and then he leaves.
When you consider how long he stayed on
Punishment?
Astonishing X-Men,
Oh no.
How long did he stay on this?
wasn't that was about
That's
a,
right.
that was a good long while.
That was like mini series.
Yeah, because he like.
It was like two
series where he
6
wasn't doing
issues.
stuff.
Oh okay, and he was on and off.
And next
yeah.
way it was like 1 year.
Well, you know what?
It's gonna be a hell of a year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Let's go.
fantastic year.
I'm about it. I'm
12
about it.
issues, we get that. Maybe an annual.
We have what's his name? Edmondson is doing the new Punisher book, moving the Punisher
doing
out
the Black
to
Widow book,
LA.
isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
doing
Do
both.
both, yeah.
So those are gonna be good.
I'm excited about Loki, Agent of Asgard. Because Marvel wants a Tom Hiddleston
Yes.
book.
That is not a Loki book.
I hope he hooks up with Thor, guys.
Fan fiction.
You know what? You know what's unfortunate? We're losing a Mark Waid, Chris Samney Daredevil book, but it's getting
We're getting-
replaced by Mark Waid and Chris Samney book.
I'm upset we're losing Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, I am too. But
Because that I
TV show.
feel like I'm losing. Yes, Gordon Ramsay. We will miss you.
The location that was there.
But no, yeah, we're losing he was Hell's Kitchen.
this is Parsley. What are you blind?
You're a donkey.
But
Hell's Kitchen
I
is
am
essentially such a
blind.
big character in the
It's as big
Daredevil
as Gotham.
universe. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
It's Gotham to
but Matt Murdock has to work on his tan.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going down.
So does Matt
No,
Fraction.
he's not gonna get a tan in San Francisco. That shit's foggy as shit.
I got sunburned there once.
What?
I got sunburned there once.
Oh.
I get sunburned anyway.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like, just to talk on Marvel now again, look at the way that they're integrating their characters. That's really, I think, is the biggest push that they made with this new initiative, is that you have characters like Cannonball and Eclipse showing up in the Avengers, and now you have Typhoid Mary. She's going to be part of the new Sisterhood.
Yeah.
She was a Daredevil villain.
That's a
and you know,
cool
like
group,
the way
too.
that they're fusing everything together in the whole world. Look at what they did with the Incredible Hulk. How they found a place for him in the Marvel universe that isn't just Hulk smash, and that's just fantastic.
The thing I always liked about Marvel is with their events and everything, if the books don't want to be in them, it really seems like they don't push, like with Young Avengers or Daredevil. If you don't want to be in that, you don't have to be.
Speaking of events, we'll be right back.
Red Scare.